How's it going, Aries community? So, first up, we have the Talisman Oracle for the introduction, letting me know that there's a divinely guided eye that is in this energy, that is seeing what's happening here. So let's go ahead and ask our ancestors, angels, and spirit guides, what is it that needs to come out for the introduction for the Aries frequency? Something we're not seeing, we're confused on. Change. Maybe you're worried about the evolution of something and it not sticking to what the original plan was. I'm not sure. We're still at the start here, but I have safe travels and reverse. A lot of emotional turmoil here. Maybe a lot of overthinking, going round and round in the thoughts, not finding a solution to something. We talked about this not too long ago. Protection. There is something either you feel like you can't protect, you can't keep it the same, you can't prevent something, or there's a lot of variables in life that are happening to you. Could be affecting how you go about your routine, how you go about your day, how you go about even getting from point A to point B. Now we're confused on what we know. What we know, where we've been, where we want to go, maybe. Are you doubting yourself, Aries? Could this be what it is? So then we have the Elixir of Life. This is nice. The Elixir of Life and Blessed Day pop out together. This also pops out under the change, and it pops out under the knowledge and safe travels. You got caught up in a bad moment. You could have gotten caught up in what I heard is a bad scheme. But this is something that's going to create a new knowledge within you, new ways of protecting yourself, new ways of, it could be even being a few steps ahead of the next one who tries to come in and mess with you kind of energy. But whatever it is, it's meant to help you see the balance between the good and the bad, how we need both. That's what I'm getting, the balance between the light and the dark. But here it's a part of the destiny, it's a part of growing, it's a part of you getting your success. Is being able to be flexible, is you being able to be adaptable. But also realizing just because you change up the playbook, it doesn't mean that you've changed up the whole game. So you still have stuff here. You still have a key to your destiny here. But again, we have to be okay. We have to search these emotions. We have to start feeling protected and being able to evolve. Being able to bring in a flexibility for the flow of divine timing of things in our life. So let's go ahead and get started with this introduction, Aries. What is it that needs to come out? What we talk about? Where do we go? For some reason you want to run to the opposite direction. Why do you want to run to the opposite direction? Oh man, it wants to be done in like a Page of Wands, Knight of Swords in reverse type of energy. What I'm hearing is there's a lot of denial of something. It's almost like I get the image of somebody who wants to just dig their hole and stay stuck there. No matter what extremes happen, no matter if it's more beneficial for them to move, they kind of want to stick to it. And I feel like there's a big stubbornness here. Now we have the Two of Wands in reverse. Page of Wands, Two of Wands, Three of Wands here. You don't know which way to look at this. You don't know how to look at it. You don't even know what I'm getting is even how to interpret how people are looking at you with this whole situation. Ooh, 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords. I don't know. Do you feel like there's more bad days than good days when it comes to the dealings with others? It has to do a lot with others. Part of this crowd. Maybe in some sense you could feel a little humiliated. Here comes a Knight of Wands. Temperance, and what do we have here? Oh, Magician. I was telling you about that vengefulness. That vengefulness. Not sure how to balance and not sure how to react again to these others. You have brash behavior. Am I really being brash, or am I just trying to give them another view of why I'm doing what I'm doing, why I'm balancing, how I'm balancing? You know, I was led to do things this way. You know, I followed what I was supposed to, done what I supposed to. The routine has been working. Now we either have you being the Magician in this side position, or we have somebody else being the Magician in this side position. Or you feel like they are. You feel like they're creating illusions. You could feel like they're feeding you a big pot of turd stew. Just, you know, they're full of it. That's what I'm getting from that. I don't know, but it has to do with this crowd. It has to do with this other. It could be a workplace environment. It could be a home environment. It's where you frequent. It's public. It's a public space. Alright, so let's continue. Divine and universal energy. What is it that needs to come out for the conclusion for the Aries frequency? Oh, wow. Did you see how it set that down? Now, this falls on the Magician. Now, this is either you matching people eye for eye, or you like feeling like people are bringing on an illusion. The thing is we need to work through fears here. Maybe being honest. What is the exact fear here? What is it that you're holding on to that you're afraid to let go? That's something that you got to get down and be honest and raw with yourself. Why it's so important. A lot of times, if you don't have these tough conversations with yourself, how are you going to communicate how you're feeling with others? A new cycle will begin. And what does this new cycle have to do with? It has to do with having the confidence, getting fixed in things. And this one is believe in the impossible. That one was like that. So you're definitely at odds ends with believing in the impossible. For some reason, this fear really takes away from the confidence. And this new romantic cycle, I feel like you can have really good relationships with the people that you're partnering with, the people that you're collaborating with, the people that you are working with when it ever comes down to this situation. Or I should say when it comes down to this situation. Whatever it is that's needing some flexibility and some evolving with the times here. So the answers you need, you don't think, you don't see them, you don't think it's going to happen, but they're coming. They are coming. But you know what? Again, it's breaking down that connection with yourself. Between that divine connection and the connection that you have here on this earth. Cleaning up that communication with yourself but with others. So, a time to give rather than take. It's time to clean up the empire a little bit. It's time for you to do some shop cleaning. What I feel specifically is when the shops close down, when the business isn't running during its business hours, that is the time for you to sit there and clean things up. When the household is nice and quiet, that is the time for you to sit there and clean things up. Really going through with this Virgo, it's a lot of analytical energy, but it also has Mercury representing this Virgo too. So you have two Mercury cards here. This is about how we think and how we communicate. You have it with the Gemini and you have it with the Virgo. So with this here, it comes down to how you're communicating with others, but also how you're communicating with yourself. Being really honest with yourself. And I feel like when you go through your empire, through your kingdom here, and you're cleaning stuff up, you're putting stuff back, you're seeing what's worn down, you're seeing what needs to be changed up, what needs to be replaced, you might come across some kind of understanding of where others are coming from when it comes to changing up, when it comes to being flexible. There may be something that you find, something that you see, something that gets processed in this time with yourself. And here we have another Libra card. A win-win outcome is forecasted. And this is what you're at the most distance with. This is something that you wouldn't bet on it. I would say if you sat here and was told, well, would you bet on this if we did it this way, if we evolved this way, you wouldn't bet on it, because right now you see that the formula has been the same, and this is the formula that has been working. So what that does is that leaves a closing off to anything new coming in, but also for you to explore anything, Aries. You're a cardinal energy. If you don't give yourself room to explore new things, new ideas, then you start to run in a hamster cage. You start to get comfortable with the same old, but you also set yourself a limit. So whatever it is that you're working on, I feel like the divine is saying here is you have not reached the limit yet. And this is why the divine is pushing you to get out of this comfort zone. This is why the divine is bringing this story out for you. Stand tall. Stand tall. Just like you can be stubborn with wanting to keep things the same, you can also be stubborn or get stubborn with yourself when it comes to being able to challenge yourself when you notice that you want to stay stuck. Recognizing when you get stuck and recognizing when it's time to challenge yourself type of energy. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for coming in and helping out with all these positive messages. And don't forget to thank divine and universal energy as well. And I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.